Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Zeke Medina, pharmacist and adult sleep coach, and today we are talking about a very important topic that you need to stay tuned on. It is what happens when you cannot fall asleep, and also what happens when you wake up in the middle of the night unable to fall back asleep. So today we're going to talk about the disadvantages of staying in bed and trying to muscle it out and get back to sleep. Next, we're going to talk about what we should be trying to do instead. Then, when are those cues to allow us to figure out when it's time to go back to bed? And then lastly, what should our mindset be once we are in bed? And newsflash, it is not about thinking about sleep. So without further ado, let's talk about the disadvantages of staying in bed. Now, number one, this is something that is building sleep efficiency. The longer that you're asleep in bed, your sleep efficiency scores go up. Ideally, we want them above 80%, closer to 90% if possible, but sometimes things change. Now, that's telling me when sleep efficiency is dropping is you are staying in bed longer than what you should. Because the way we calculate that is the time that you're asleep over the time you're in bed. And so if you are dropping with sleep efficiency, we are telling our brain that this is a place for thinking or other things other than sleep. The next thing is you are creating a perpetuating factor when it comes to insomnia. These are typically factors that are behavioral habits and things that you kind of acquire with sleep issues that keep insomnia from basically fixing itself. And they can last 6 months or longer, creating that chronic insomnia train that we see so much with a lot of our clients. The next thing, you can start to create associations with your bed with frustration. Sometimes when you can't fall asleep and you know you want sleep and you know you need sleep, but you don't get it, it can kind of create some kind of performance anxiety, which can also create frustration. So that's another thing. And then lastly, probably one of the most dangerous things is that we start to create our bedroom environment as a think tank rather than a place to relax, be calm, and just allow sleep to come. So these are some very detrimental things, and like I said, they all surround this perpetuating factor when it comes to insomnia, which causes insomnia to last much longer than that 6 months that it typically does when it's temporary, and we find patients or clients longer than years, 5 to 10 years, unable to fall asleep. So what should you do instead? Now, the first thing is I typically will find an environment outside of my bedroom where I can put a dimly lit light. It's real nice and dimly lit. I like to use these. I like to use these little lights that are basically they attach to books, journals, coloring books, whatever, and they come in amber and red light. I'll put a link down there below in my Amazon store, so if you have any questions, you can just click down there, check them out. Now, those are affiliate links, so if you do purchase something with no extra cost to you, I do get a small percentage, so I appreciate your support. It keeps the channel going. Now, with that, I try to keep the light out of my eyes, so it's nothing glaring at me. It's typically facing downwards. And then from there, I try to do something mundane, something that's very easy for me to just put down. So that can mean anything like yoga, because I know when I'm in yoga, I'm typically bored. Meditation is one of those things as well. Reading, something light, science fictional. Drawing or coloring is good. I put in that link that you have down below, there's also some coloring books for adults. You just color a shape with a certain color, and with that, you basically create a picture. So it's just something very mundane, very boring. I don't find myself looking forward to that at all. And when I'm tired, I typically set it away and go to bed. And then with that, you can also journal. A lot of it, my clients have found, the nicer the journal that they have bought, the more they look forward to just writing and just getting anything off their mind, and therefore also starting a practice with gratitude. And so these are some things that can also improve your sleep quality when it comes to having issues with falling asleep. And then lastly, audio stories seems to be a big thing these days. Every app like Calm, Spotify, even iTunes has some audio sleep stories. And I typically recommend my clients to get the EMF free earbuds so it avoids any radiation going into close to the brain. There is research to show that EMFs can interfere with melatonin production, maybe not fully causing cancer, which is great, but I typically would try to keep as much EMF as far away as from my brain as possible, especially when I'm falling asleep. So, when do you know to go back to bed? Now, I typically am waiting for sleep cues. So, one of the sleep cues can be that heavy eye blinking where you're just like really slow blinking. It could be that sleepy nod where you're doing something and you just notice you drift off, right? Or if you start to do some eye rubbing, these are all cues. You might have one, you might not have none. You might just feel that internal feeling of just like, okay, I just gotta stop this and go to bed. Like you're yawning and you're doing all those. That's probably the other one that I should have put there is yawning. But anyways, when it comes down to it, you're really noticing yourself drift off. So when that happens, you're going to go back to bed. This can be 5, 10, 15 minutes from when you started that activity. Now, what should our brain be like? What is our mindset when it comes to going back to bed? Now, a lot of us like to really stab ourselves in the back and think about falling asleep, wanting that sleep, and being able to get that restorative feeling. But that is the wrong mindset when it comes to going back to bed. The first thing you need to think about is, am I relaxed? Am I comfortable in my bed? Do I have the right bedding, the pillows? Is my body positioned into a place where I feel relaxed and comfortable? The next thing is you have to think, are you in a safe zone? Is this a safe place? Have you locked the doors? Have you done everything where you know you can just fall asleep safely? And if those two are checked, the last thing we need to start thinking is, how do I keep my mind calm? And a lot of folks will think about breathing techniques, relaxation techniques, which it can be multiple things that you can train your body or mind on remembering. One of the things that I do is a 4-7-8 breathing technique where I inhale for 4 seconds through my nose, hold it for 7 seconds, and then slowly exhale for 8 seconds as if I'm trying to fog up a mirror. And this allows my body to really go into that parasympathetic rest and digest tone that allows me to fall asleep. And while I'm doing this, these are the 3 things that I'm going through in my mind. Do I feel safe? Am I relaxed? Am I comfortable? And is my mind at peace? And if those things are checked, sleep eventually will come. So I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions, please comment down below. I'd love to help you out, answer those. And then with that, if you haven't subscribed already, please like and subscribe. And with that, I will be making more videos. Next time, I will be going over the nap rules. So tune in for next time. I'm Dr. Zeke Medina, pharmacist and adult sleep coach. See you next time.